Hey y'all, what up? This is my exercise for the week of September 16th. This first clip is me actually finally getting to do 10 unbroken strict pull-ups, which has been a goal of mine all year long. It's pretty freaking sweet. Super stoked that I was able to get that done. I ended up doing a lot of ring rows and bent over rows and static holds and those kinds of things to try and make this goal happen. So I was pretty stoked. That was awesome. Next, you're going to see me hitting a PR for postpartum on my bench press, 155, which is my body weight. Another awesome day. Then we're doing this terrible couplet for 12 minutes of increasing burpees to a plate and toes to bar. I love burpees. I can do those all day long. Toes to bar are a nemesis of mine, especially after having 3 children. So this workout got pretty spicy pretty fast. I was definitely really envious of Amy the entire time she was doing this because she can just go for days on that rig, and that is not a skill set I have. I had her at the beginning because I could go a little bit faster on those burpees, but man, she got me good on the rig. Nice work, Amy. After I got done with this set here, I decided to try and break up my toes to bar because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to be doing more than 3 at a time without things falling apart, and even doing 3 at a time also fell apart, so that was a big bummer. Some things that I've done to try and work on those things that are tougher in the gym especially coming after having a baby is, lots of core static stability type exercises. So bird dogs, dead bugs, supine alternating toe taps, planks, oblique planks, all kinds of nasty, not so fun stuff that really helps build up your core and trunk and keep you strong. Of course, I've also been getting RX MAT sessions just about every week for several months now, so that makes a huge difference as well, of just making sure that my overall body is really working at full capacity and that I'm not breaking things down too much in the gym. Just enough to get strong, not enough to get ruined. Yeah, after we're done with this, the next video that we've got coming up is a whole series on me trying to get to that 300-pound back squat. So what I've done is I've started, in this week, you'll see me doing 4 videos. I'm starting off at 4 sets of 12 where I build up to 65% of my current 1 rep max, which is 275. So this first set is at 135. No problem at all. Feels super good the whole time I'm doing it. Breathing feels easy. That's a really nice way to be when you're doing squats, especially high volume like that. The second set I'm going to be doing, I jump up to 155, which does get a little spicy just because it's an endurance race when you're doing anything over 5, right? And I'm at sets of 12 for this. But when I get to those 155s and upwards, as I start getting close to 165, I really try to make sure that I take my time on each squat, in the sense that I'm checking in on my breath, I'm checking in on where I'm bracing. When you've had a couple of babies and you're trying to rehab all that strength stuff, you've got to really know how to work your pelvic floor for you rather than, just going for it. It's always fun to try and go for it, but you've got to keep yourself together too. So you can hear me breathing in the second video when I'm doing 155, where I'm really using that exhale to help propel me up out of the squat, and that's something that you want to try and do. The third set that I did, I jumped up to 170, which was a 15-pound increase. I was just trying to be conservative. I was a little nervous about getting to 65%. So then you can also see when I'm doing that 170 that I am starting to get tired. I was taking about 2.5 minutes of rest in between each set, which is, a good prescribed amount. They say 2 to 3 minutes is the perfect window for you to really fully recover before you try again. The other issue with doing sets of 12 is that this just gets long, right? You're under the bar for a long time. So that 2.5 minutes, sometimes just doesn't feel like enough, but that's all right. So we've got 170 here. You can see that's taking me a little bit longer. I'm having to really dial in mentally because I just don't want to do it anymore. I want to put the bar back, but we've got goals here to complete. So we've got to get this set done. And the next number after this is going to be that 65%, which is 180 pounds. So we hit that for 12. Took me a little while, was a little bit of a struggle, but mentally I just tried to lock in on each rep as I was doing it rather than being focused on, oh shit, I've got to get to 12. I just tried to stay as dialed in as possible on that breath and that constant motion so that I never really felt like I was stuck anywhere in the set. Still took me a little while though, that is for dang sure. It's all right though. You got it, Mead. You keep doing those squats, girl. The breaks get a little bit longer in between those reps because it's just a little bit tougher. I don't know if you've ever tried to do 4 sets of 12. It gets gnarly. Next week, you'll see in the second video, I do 4 sets of 10, all of them at 180 pounds. And man, my daughter Imogen made those super difficult. Here we've got a time lapse. My third goal for the year is to try and get an unbroken Karen. So I'm starting out with things nice and simple. I'm adding more bicycle rides into my life so that I can get that lactic acid buildup and get comfortable in that really tough spot when you're doing wall balls. But I'm also every week doing a 10-minute EMOM of wall balls where I'm going to increase the number of reps I'm doing per minute. So this is just 10 reps every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. So it ends up being 100. You'll see on the next week that I end up doing 12. We'll see how that goes. And I'll just start playing with like the amount of rest time that I'm doing. Maybe I'll also start adding in a heavier wall ball. I ended this week doing a Dutch Kills fitness workout, my favorite, my absolute beloved. And I got some yokes out for CrossFit Blue Athletes to check out, right? They don't get to do this very often. Maybe they've never done it before. So it was fun to get to put on a little bit of a show as they were coming in for the 9:30 a.m. class on Saturday. Here I am carrying 450 pounds. As soon as I got done with that carry, I had to drop down and do 7 burpees, right? We did that every 2 minutes for 24 minutes, so 12 rounds. I started with the rig at 280 pounds, and I just slowly built my way up throughout the 24-minute workout. And I did the last 4 rounds at 450, which was a huge surprise for me. I was not anticipating that to happen. I haven't touched a yoke in probably 2 or 3 years, thanks to having babies and trying to heal up and moving across the country, doing all kinds of stuff. So I was very, very thrilled with this. The only reason this happened is because I totally messed up my math and had no idea how much weight I actually had on the rig. It always helps to do the math at the end of the workout. You usually end up surprising yourself. I know most of you lifters have been there, done that, and you know the rewards and the failures from taking those risks. So I was pretty pumped to not have any idea how much was on there and to get to count that up at the end of the workout. Anyways, these are my last 7 burpees of the day, and I hope you enjoyed checking out my fitness for the week. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll keep posting. I guess that's all I've got for you, y'all. Have a good week. Talk to you later.